Gary Vaynerchuk. And this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the Internet's most passionate wine program, and we are still here in San Diego. We are now moving on to red wines. People are more tipsy than ever. It's harder to shush them, but we're going to try to get through them. And we've got 4 wines here today that I'm very excited about. We've got a Pinot Noire, we've got a little blend from the Rhone, we've got a little Syrah action, and then we have a little Syrah action. Syrah squared. So, let's talk about red wine. How many people in here consider themselves red wine drinkers? Raise your hand. Put your hands down. How many people here would drink red wine over white wine? White wine over red wine? Sparkling wine over both of them? Yeah! Nice. We'll talk later. Okay, so, let's stay focused. Root beer over all of them? Yeah! Nice. Hardcore root beer fan. Nice. All right. Let's get focused. I'm sorry, maniacs. We're having a lot of fun here in San Diego. You know, if you leave a comment down below, maybe we'll come to your town. We'll be like the WWF. All right, so let's get focused on the first wine here. A wine that I've had a lot of experience with. Probably have had 7 to 10 vintages of. It's a substitute because the wine we're supposed to have did not make it. Is that right, Matt?
That's correct.
So it's a substitute play. Substitutes sometimes do well. You know, remember Fisher took Michigan to the championship in '89. Broke my heart because I'm a huge Seton Hall fan. I'm still upset about it. It was a bullcrap call on Ramil Robinson.
Jeff Hostetler.
Jeff Hostetler, very good. Jumped in. Subs sometimes win. Let's see if All Blanc Clement, more affectionately known as ABC Pinot, can do that. What we have here is the 07 All Blanc Clement Santa Barbara Pinot Noir. This rolls in at $20 US. And let's see what's going on here. Are people mad at $20? No. All right, let's give it a sniffy sniff. I hear heaven.
Marshmallow. No kiwis.
All right. I feel this has a pretty interesting aromatic. I get a really clever kind of underplay of like blackberry candy melted down. So like a blackberry play on the back end. I also get a little bit of a kind of, very subtle little fungus play on the back end as well. And also, more like mushrooms when I eat fungus. And I also get a little hint, I don't know if it's bubblegum. It's got a little bit of a bubblegum kind of play. I don't, but it's not like classic bubblegum. It's almost like rotten bubblegum, you know? Like bubblegum that maybe got spoiled somehow.
Big league chip.
No, it's kind of there. It's also, does anybody else think this has like a chemical product smell?
Yeah.
Pantyhose. Yeah, it's pantyhose. From a guy. I get like a chemical play. I almost feel like you just clean the room. And it's the residuals of the cleaning product. Shh. Let's give it a whirl. The initial thing that happens right away to my palate in this wine is I get a very curious, little tiny hint of bacon fat, which gets me very, very excited. Let's try it one more time. If anybody didn't feel that, let's taste it one more time. I think you're going to get an initial attack of like a little bit of a bacon fat kind of play.
The bacon gotta say something.
That's followed up by a very interesting sour cherry meets raspberry, and they hold hands in friendships throughout your entire mid palate. Now, it finishes extremely creamy and almost slightly over oaked and almost like creme brulee, almost like vanilla ice cream. Very creamy kind of play on the finish for me. Some disagree, but there are also Bulls fans back there. This wine clearly has a creaminess to it on the back end, though some might not think so. But everybody has their own palate. What they're probably picking up on is the acidity and a little bit of that tannic bitterness. I'm not as fazed by it because I just feel like it's mild, but delicate palates, like that gentleman's delicate flower of a palate, may pick up on the tannins. Let's give it one more shot. Ultimately, this wine also has a candy play, almost a sugar candy. Do you remember like razzes or like I can't remember what, right?
It turns into gum.
Yeah, it turns into gum. Very good. There's this candy called razzes, and there was a raspberry flavored razzes that you bite, and it was kind of chalky, and then it turned into gum. Back to that bubblegum play, Bigly Chew style. I picked that up on this wine in a big time way. I'm not completely sold on this wine. I'm not completely sold on this wine, but I'm kind of fascinated by it. I think it can hurt me, but I'm not sure, so I want to keep drinking it. Ultimately, though, if I had to score this wine on the show, I would say this is an 88-point Pinot Noir. I'm not that excited about it. I think it's a little bit of a controlled chaos situation. It has a lot of different things going on. The bacon fat in the beginning is very appealing to me. It is fresh and flavorful, and I definitely think for a lot of palates out there, there's a lot of people that would like this wine. How many of you like this wine? Raise your hand. Maybe less than I would have even thought. I think there's a lot of delicious factors to this wine. However, its complexities and nuances are kind of lacking, and ultimately that's what I'm looking for. So at 20 bones, I probably wouldn't plop it down, because deep down in my dungeon of wine thought, there's 2 wines at 10 bucks that I'd rather buy than this. Let's move on. How many people have wine number 2? Like if a bad call in a soccer game just happened. Here we go. Let's zoom in. This comes from one of the great Rhone producers in the world. A producer that produces some of the best Chateauneuf de Pape in the world. A winery by the name of Domaine de la Jeunesse. And this is their Terre des Boussiers. This is an 85 to 87 point Robert Parker wine, and it is 35% Syrah, 65% Merlot, and it rolls in at $15 US. How many people here are still influenced by Sideways and don't want to drink Merlot? Raise your hand. Jerks. All right. This is going to be an interesting wine, I think. This is a very interesting wine. What it is a declassified kind of Rhone wine, because they're blending Merlot in there, and it's kind of a Vin de Pailly kind of thing. Let's all give this a sniffy sniff.
Did you say swirly swirl?
I said sniffy sniff, but I always give it a swirly swirl. How many people? Curious. How many of you find this aromatically challenging? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Meaning you can't smell it. I'm picking up clearly black currant on this wine. I'm also picking up a little bit of a muddy, earthy tone on this wine. I also pick up a little bit of a dust play, kind of like a cellar, dusty kind of cave basement little action.
Molasses.
Yeah, that was good. I think I like molasses. I don't think as much limestone rain. Really drunk, G? Sorry, man. All right, let's give it a whirl.
Very, very
Huh?
my favorite. Honey.
Wow. Interesting. This wine catches me off guard. This wine has heavy density, very big full-bodied action, a balanced tannins, but bitter enough to get me excited, but not too bitter to turn me off. It's like a bad boy for all those 16-year-old girls. You know what I mean? It's also very dark and chocolate on the back end. Like bitter, dark chocolate with like an 84% cocoa count. It's a very well-made, balanced wine. And if you are a fan of black Let me tell you something, Matt. $15. Wine searcher, our price, what?
Our price.
This wine has a lot of upside. How long has this been open? Nothing, right?
An hour.
An hour? Shh. Okay. A lot of people are trying to expand their palate. I hope you guys go out at home, text yourself. It's 2009. Don't write on a piece of paper. Write this name down. Try to find this wine. I am completely caught off guard by the quality of this wine for the price point. I like the absolute length, the polish, and I'm really enjoying the bitter chocolate meets kind of cranberry, black cherry kind of thing going on in this wine. It's a little oaky and creamy, and it might turn some people off. But the fact that it gets very floral on the back end, it's almost like I ate a lilac flower, gets me very excited. I like the bitterness, I like the floral, I like the fruit. I'm going to score this wine 90 points. I think this is a very, very good value, and I think it's got a shocking ability to age for 7 to 10 years, and more importantly, in the next 3 to 4 years, I think this wine could show tremendously well. Tremendously. I like this wine. How many of you disagree with me? Raise your hand. Okay. Everybody's got their own palate. Even the lovely couple that I like so much, I think they're wrong. I'm telling you, I love it so. I think this has big potential. I like this, and you know what? I'm going to tell you what I really like about this. I like the subtle white pepper flavor on the mid-palate to finish transition. And it's also, and you're right, I'll tell you why I think a lot of people do like this wine. It's got clear smoothness on the finish. It's pretty darn silky. I like it. I'm caught off guard. I like it.
Say the name again.
I actually hated this same exact wine last year, so that's why I was totally caught off guard. Let's move on. 90. Novi. 2006 Syrah. 19 US dollars, 90 points, Wine Spectator. Let's give it a rinse. How many of you have wine number 3? You sure you aren't drinking wine number 3? Novi time. How many of you in this room have had a Novi Syrah before? Raise your hand. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Oh God, I know exactly what this smells like. All right, the first thing I smell in this wine is after there's a rainstorm in New York City, and there's a little ditch or a little like cove in the road, so the water's been still for a while, maybe 2 days. And let's say you walk by it and you put your finger in it and it ruffles some feathers, and you get the stinky water smell. That's what this wine smells like. It also smells a little bit like, it also smells a little bit like mustard on the nose, like a Dijon kind of mustard on the back end, which I kind of like. So a little bit of like stinky water meets mustard, and a little hint of poop. I mean, there's a little manure action. There just is. I mean, there's a little manure. There's also a little bit of a black currant component as well. You guys ready to give this a whirl?
Yeah.
Do it. How many people hate this wine? Raise your hand. How many people dislike it? How many people are meh? How many people like it? How many people love it? I don't like it that much. Let me give it one more shot.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thunder. Taking away the fact that this wine's extremely tannic on the back end, and needs 4 to 7 years cellaring to even be truly evaluated. I think the wine is over-extracted, tastes a little fake to me, can be replicated for $9 in Australia, and that's about all I really have to say. If you love this wine, God bless you. You want to spend 19 bucks? Go ahead. If you want to save 10 bucks, go buy a $9 Barossa Shiraz, and they taste exactly like this wine. I think it's overdone, lacks true soul. It's kind of like Milli Vanilli up in here for me right now. Wow, it struck a nerve. A lot of 33-year-olds in the room, I see.
Blame it on the rain.
Blame it on the rain. It's still rain. That smell nothing.
Let's get him.
Bring out the pitchforks. I think this wine is a little bit of a farce play. I am shocked that the Wine Spectator had the audacity to score this wine 90 points. I'm going to score this wine 81 points. You saw what I saw. Listen, if you love it, God bless you. You should. Everybody has their own palate. I'm sure plenty of people just went at home and said, I can't believe you had the audacity to give it 81 points. Everybody has their own palate. Ultimately, the fact that I know I can replicate this taste, 1,700 times over the next 3 years by pouring a $10 Australian Shiraz bothers me. I want to save people money. I want them to realize I don't see the nuances that makes this wine special. It's got one dimension of flavor. It's a blackberry, black fruit play. Other than that, this wine is giving you nothing. I'd be shocked. I mean, I just don't see anything else. And that's just kind of how I feel about this wine. This is a major league pass to me. I don't like it. Let's move on. And finally, Ambos, 2006, Santa Rita Hills, Syrah, 24 US dollars, 89 points. Wine Spectator, baby. Let's give it a rinse. 24 bones. How many of you have this wine? Oh, a lot of you don't. One more time. How many of you have wine number 4? Raise your hand.
Syrah.
What's that?
Syrah.
Syrah. Thank you. But it's a Syrah, right?
It's 73 Syrah, 27 Syrah.
Is it? It says Syrah on the label. I don't have Syrah. I have Syrah.
Really?
Yeah. This is not the Syrah. This is the Syrah.
Okay.
Just to clear up what's going on, we were supposed to have the Syrah, which was a blend, but what I have in front of me, now I don't know if you guys are being poured the same thing. Can we? Yeah. The Syrah? Okay, so it's the Syrah. It's the 06 Syrah. All right, let's give it a sniffy sniff. Holy fake action. So this is, I talk about Skittles quite a bit. We are all riding the freaking rainbow right now because this is loaded with candy, over-the-top sugared fruit, kind of like grape Big League Chew meets grape Nerds candy. I'm getting worse than isn't it? There is a heavy dosage of oak in this wine as well. Let's give it a whirl. Okay. Do you remember this? Ice Pops.
Yes.
Remember you buy like the things and you freeze them?
Otter Pops.
What's that?
Otter Pops.
Otter Pops.
Otter Pops.
Otter Pops? Clearly not from New York.
Hey, we're East Coast.
We call them like the freeze sticks.
No. Otter Pops. Ice Pops. Otter Pops.
Alright, they're not Otter Pops. This is why live audience is so good. Otter Pops.
It's the West Coast thing.
Clearly. So the Ice Pops, you know the juice, you put it into a freezer. I'm kidding, I love the West Coast. You put it in the freezer, you take it out, and I never liked red. I was all about orange and purple. Now, let's zone in
Alexander the Great.
on purple. If you had the purple, you would eat the pop, and then always, unless you ate it really fast and brain freezed, you'd have a little juice at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the best Otter Pop.
To me, this tastes like a combination of that meeting. Do you remember Minute Maid also made ice pops? And they were triangles?
Yes.
They had grape. The grape juice part of that also tastes like this. This to me tastes like somebody bought High C mix, grape, put it, mixed it, and gave it to me. This tastes exactly like artificial grape juice to me. Period. I see you shaking your head out of misery. Yeah, behind you. You totally disagree. What do you think it tastes like? Missy?
She loves it.
I like it.
Because it's fruity and delicious and a sugar pie. The sugar fans are coming out. And listen, there's nothing wrong. If you want a delicious beverage, this is a nice wine. But if you're looking for anything other than grape-flavored juice, you need to go elsewhere because that is the only dimension this wine brings to the table. Let me give it one more shot.
It's like a classy Manischewitz.
This is ridiculously candy juice.
Yeah.
I agree with you. If I wasn't mistaken, only because it's thinner, but this does taste a little like Manischewitz. I mean, this is not good. It's fake. It's very artificial. It's fake boobs. It's like lifts out to here. It's pointing things into your forehead to get rid of wrinkles. And I just don't like it. This wine has no soul. And I'm scoring this wine 67 points. Now, understand this. I am positive that when we go to the poll right now, there's a boatload of people that love this wine.
Women.
No? No? I think people that like wine, drink wine, they like it. Once again, though, you're going to fight me on this, but I can tell you right now, money in the back. In the back. Oh, it's money. Money in the bank. Rock Bear Shiraz from Australia. $7.99. Tastes like this. Yellowtail. Yellowtail. You know what? Nothing for nothing. Yellowtail kind of tastes like this. It is very, 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 very over sugarified. I don't expect it, I don't like it, and I don't appreciate it. It's a major pass. And that's what I think about that one. How many people love that last wine? Raise your hand, tell the truth. Everybody has a different palate. Raise your hand.
Otter Pops.
I know, it's hard to raise your hand. I appreciate you guys raising your hand. Everybody has their own palates. Good for you. Everybody has their own palates. That's just my take on this. It's really good. Question of the day. What is your favorite flavor of ice pops? What is your favorite flavor of Otter Pop?
Strawberry
A
shortcake.
little bit of me. We're changing the wine world, whether they like it or not.